Hi, everyone, and welcome to Campus Copy. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Adam Jacey. With us today is the WQAQ Sports Director, Mike Silverman. Mike, thanks for being here.
Glad to help out.
All right, we're going to ask Mike a few questions. All of these are asked by members of the WQAQ Sports Department and are about Mike and his job, and we're going to see if he can give us some answers. So let's take the first question now.
What's your favorite part about being WQAQ Sports Director?
All right, my favorite part of being WQAQ Sports Director is that I get to watch sports all the time. I'm always involved with the teams. I get to meet all the players, the athletic directors, the sports information directors. It's fun to be involved. I wasn't gifted naturally enough to play Division I college athletics, so I'm glad I can partake in it another way, and I get to literally be at every single home game throughout the year.
All right, thanks, and let's go to question number 2.
What's the hardest part about being a WQAQ Sports Director?
You know, the hardest part of being a sports director is trying to please everyone in your department. Thankfully, we have about 40 to 50 people in our department. But when you only have 5 games a week, you can't give everyone a game. So you want to make everyone happy and stay involved, but you also have to make sure that you put a good team on each game, but while pleasing everyone at the same time. So I'd say that's the hardest part.
Yeah, can you talk about also juggling with your schedule? I know you have a lot going on.
Yeah, that too. You have school still, and then I say I'd probably spend 25 to 30 hours a week doing sports department stuff, along with hosting a television show for Q30. So,
check it out.
Bobcat Blitz.
Yeah.
So
get your little plug in there.
I really have no free time, plus a radio show every week.
Right.
So I have no free time, and that makes it tough to balance school, because the main reason I'm here still is to be a student, but I also want to make sure I live up to my duties and responsibilities as the sports director.
Okay. All right, let's go to question number 3.
How did you get involved in WQAQ?
So, Mike, how did you get involved in WQAQ?
Well, I transferred from the University of Illinois after my sophomore year, and I said if I'm going to make this move out east, I want to make sure I make it worth it. So the day I got to Quinnipiac, I was a junior already, so I immediately went upstairs to the radio station and was like, I want to get involved. I want to start now. How can I jump right in? And from day one, they knew that I wanted to be there as much as I could. And since then, I just jumped into the station and have taken off from there. And now that the 2 seniors graduated last year that were the current sports directors last year, they knew that I could jump right in and fill the spot. So that's how I got started.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. And let's take question number 4.
Mike, why did you want to become the WQAQ Sports Director?
That's a good question, Mike. Why did you want to be the sports director?
I think I wanted to be the sports director, one, because it obviously is a huge thing for the resume, and in this business, it's all about your resume and your tape and not grades, which is the harsh truth, but that's the reality. So I needed more for my resume, and I wanted to take that next step. I felt like I could, let's be honest, the whole reason we're here is for everyone to learn and improve, and I felt like I could maybe help younger kids, freshmen, sophomores, on that process of learning and improving to become better broadcasters, because I had experienced it for 3 years now. So I wanted to take that next step and take a leadership role and just try to help out as many people as I could.
Okay. All right. Let's take the next question.
What is the most surprising or unexpected part of your job?
The most surprising part of this job is the time commitment. I can honestly say I did not realize it would be this much of a time commitment, and I found myself struggling with fulfilling my other activities throughout the year. But it's really about, if you think about 30 hours a week. If you have 5 games in a week, you're spending about 4 hours at each of those games. You have to be there an hour and a half early to 2 hours early. You have to be there probably an hour after the game, making sure everything's set to go. So I'd say that's the most surprising. It's like almost a full-time job.
All right, let's take the next question.
What advice would you give anyone who wants to become the WQAQ Sports Director?
The advice I would give to the future sports directors here at WQAQ is that you've better be committed. And if you have an ounce of thinking that you're not going to be committed, it's not for you. It's so much fun, and it's great to help people out. It's great to have a leadership role. But if you're not fully there, you will struggle. People will notice you're struggling. You won't create those great, strong bonds with the athletic directors and the sports information people. And the teams and players like to see your face at almost every game, and they like to know you're committed. So if you're going to run for this position, which is a great position, I think one of the best at QAQ, just be excited and be committed about every little thing you do.
Okay. Let's take the last question.
So what are your career goals?
I'd say my career goals are to either be a professional sports broadcaster or a large market sports anchor. Unfortunately, I don't have much control. It's whether people are not like me, so it's going to be kind of, I'll go on either the path of wherever I get a job first. If I get a job doing play-by-play first, I'll start heading down that path. If I get a better job doing sports anchoring, I'll head down that path. But in my mind, and what I like to thrive on is that I don't want to settle unless I'm at the top level. So my dream job, I guess, would be play-by-play for the Cubs or the lead anchor on SportsCenter. But so there's a long way to go. It's a long journey, but I'd say those are my career goals.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank all of the members of the WQAQ Sports Department for sending in their questions. I do have a couple questions for Mike, so we'll ask those now. Mike, you talked about the time commitment. And Mike Radomski is your co-sports director. How important is it to have that co-director to bounce ideas off of and help you with the time commitment?
This would not be possible without two people. You could probably do it with three people, to be honest. Mike and I like to try to show up to every game together because, like I said, you like to show your face at all these games so they recognize you and feel more comfortable. But he's crucial because we talk probably 4 to 5 times a day, just bouncing back ideas on each other because there's so many people that we're technically leading and trying to help improve. So we need to make sure our ideas are correct. So it's huge. He's become I almost like I'm dating him, it seems like, because I talk to him so much. But he's awesome, and he's a great friend, and I would not be able to do this without him.
Okay. All right. Great, Mike. Well, thanks again for being here, and thanks to all of you out there watching this. One last time for Campus Copy, I'm Adam Jacey, and thanks again to Mike Silverman.